Greetings all you Pisceans out there. Hey guys, thank you for joining me. This is your May reading and you guys are first up off the rank because I thought I would do what some of the other tarot readers do. It's hard to decide who do you do first, which astrological sign. So I thought I'll do what some of the others do and just pick from the ones that have had the most views from the previous reading. So you guys far and away outshone anyone else for your reading. So here is your May reading first up. Now we've got 4 different decks of cards here in front of us. You can't quite see them all, and we will be using all 4, and it will just depend on how and when we pick whichever cards we do. And we'll just see what is going on for you guys in May. So thank you for joining me. I am just doing the shuffling now so that you can see we are shuffling the cards. Better just check that I have got it up the right way. I've been trying to sit down and start the readings all morning, and it's been one of those unusual days because I sort of woke up to the news today that Notre Dame was burning to the ground, which I think has kind of destabilized a lot of people globally around the planet. Such a beautiful old historical building, and very traumatic for a city to go through something as colossal as that. So it does sound as though some of it has now been saved, which is great. Then I was about to start your reading and my beautiful pussy boy, my cat, Enzo, turned up in the reading room with a little field mouse. So that got loose in here and then he ran through the whole house with it, and it's still loose somewhere in the house, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. But yeah, it's been one thing after another. So does that tell us somewhat of the nature of the reading that's coming, or the cards, or the energy, and the events that might take place in May? So we'll see. We'll see what's in store. Oh, he's just managed to jump his way back through the window again. He thinks his little treat is still in this room, but in fact it has left. He did take it to another part of the house. So this is for Pisces, for May, using the 4 different decks. The shuffling, once I have finished here, is all shuffled. There will be no more shuffling. It's a variety of cards. The first 3 basically are, well, these 2 are tarot. Just the court cards aren't in this deck. These are similar to a tarot. They are an oracle deck, but they're very similarly based. And these are called The Soul's Journey by Vincent van Praagh. So they're quite a nice deck of cards. They give a different feeling, totally different type of messages. They can be quite intense, but they can open us up to specifics in life. Give us a little bit to think about, mull over. So this is for Pisces. And it's funny, I notice with my Piscean friends, of which I have a lot of them, I seem to just really be attracted to Pisceans, that a lot of them have the most beautiful dreamy eyes, that soulful eyes that you can float into and get lost in. But anyhow, where shall we start, guys? It would seem logical to start from the left-hand side and work through. So I guess for the first instance, that's exactly what we'll do. So what is your first card for May? Contract. Okay, so the contract could be referring to some of you, it could mean a contract coming that you have to sign. This could be to do with legal documentation, such as a loan or the sale of a house. So you're selling the documentation around a house. It can be to do with contractual obligations such as I just said, legal or law binding. It could be to do with an accountant or tax or money. For some of you, this could be a new contract you are signing up in regards to work. So a new job potential, or something within your job paradigm is shifting. It talks about the need to make sure that balance is maintained in this contract. So check the fine print is what I would suggest to you all. So when a contract is around, or when this card is around, quite often it means that there are offers on the table. So there could be some sort of offers coming your way as well. Now, the other type of contract this could be implicating is a moral contract or obligation. And some of you may feel you are tied into this with someone that you know, with a relationship, and this could be like a karmic relationship. So sometimes there feels to be pressure when these are around, or you feel indebted to someone, or you feel you have to balance it or bring harmony to it, or try to help balance their lives or a situation around it. So that's a possibility as well. What's the next card? The Lovers. And the Lovers is a little bit like the contract, and notice it's the same number, so the number 6. I'm also doing this on the 16th of May, so the number 6 could be quite pertinent or relative to some of you in some way. Now, the Lovers can be a contract and it can be karmic, as I said. So it can be about soulmates, either existing relationships or new ones coming in for you. There could be something that you are trying to balance within a karmic relationship, which is what we talked about before. If this is a new love relationship that is coming, it does feel as though it has a contract from the past with it. So it could feel very indebted or very tied in or very deep. And you might get this feeling of, wow, it feels like we've been together before on this journey, or we're united in some way. So some of you could come across a very, I don't want to say convoluted, but a very deep, twining relationship that pulls you in one way or another. This could also be with people you already currently know, or it doesn't have to be just intimate people. It can be relationships around you, so friendships, work colleagues, people within your community, things like that. And this could be another one of those really just tied in and connected, maybe paying off some sort of karmic throwback cause or reality. The Lovers often is about making a choice as well. That's what the card represents. So some of you may be in a position where you feel you are tied up and have to make a choice around something or someone. This is also a really good indicator for people wanting to start a new business or new business liaison or company with other people, or signing into it or buying into a company that is either starting up or becoming part owner of one. So there's a possibility that for some of you this is on the books as well, on the books, pardon the pun. So this is where the legal contractual obligation could come in. Now, oftentimes when the Lovers turns up around a contract deal or the formation of a new business, it portends very well. So those two cards work nicely together in as much that they can be very deep, long-lasting, symbolic, and generally quite happy, although the choice situation within this could be difficult. Some of you could be merging a decision about, do I choose to go with this person or this relationship or this company, yada yada. So that's where the choices could be coming in. Oh, wow. What? How does this happen? And you guys got a similar thing in your last reading, which is why I think it turned into such a big reading, because the cards were just so out there. You've now got 3 6s, but this is the Lovers as well. I mean, wow. And I said this last time in your reading, I don't know what you guys are doing at the moment, but the universe is just contracting stuff out to you left, right and centre. This is exciting. This is powerful. So because it's a general reading, clearly it's going to be different for all of you, whether this is this beautiful relationship between two people, like new potential lovers or new potential soulmates, or a relationship that already exists, that you share a special bond, a deep bond with someone, or the potential of this new business or this new project or enterprise, anything, because we've got the contract, even though it's the number 6, the same as these two, and it essentially talks about contractual love from past lives, so soulmate, tied in deals, that's what it also means. the inference behind these three cards alone is mighty powerful. You guys seem to have an opportunity coming your way that is, it feels as though you could say it's too good to be true, but it almost isn't. So you have to do some sort of thinking here as to which way you want this to go. How do you want it to pan out? Do you want to take option A or B? Seems as though maybe some of you even have two options here that are almost as good as the other. And that there's these two potential partners possibly that are, whichever one you choose could almost be an amazing road or journey that you would experience with this person or this enterprise or this business opportunity. What an incredibly powerful way to start your reading, you guys. Like, that is just sublimely magnificent, and it does represent choice. And as I said to you, choice represents the fact that things are happening in our life. It means that there's activation and things going on, which is exciting. So it feels as though there's busyness in the air, there's offers coming, there are people around you, there's love, there's harmony, there's the opportunity to imbue this in your relationships as well. So if any of you are going through a rough patch, try and see how it could be sorted or how to bring harmony into this very special bonded relationship. If you're thinking about moving on from a relationship that you might have been in for a while and in the beginning you felt like this, maybe it's worth revisiting and seeing if it can be brought back to this stage as well, because it seems as though this person could be someone who's very special in your life and there for a reason, certainly. And if you haven't finished the contract with the person, then you haven't done the deal and it will still come back anyhow. So there's something here about making sure that if you are intending to leave or move on from relationships, that you have signed off on the contractual obligations that brought you into it in the first place. So it might take quite a lot of thinking through, especially if any of you are considering leaving. Let's see what this card over here is going to turn up. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So yeah, what I might have just said about the considering leaving or considering moving on from something, whether it's a person or relationship or possibly a job or a contract that you were signed up to, some of you may have a little bit of guilt that resounds around it. So when we have guilt, it's sometimes because we haven't finished the job, or we haven't accepted what has happened, or we haven't agreed with it at a certain level of our soul, whether it was our integrity values that we didn't match with, or whether we felt we've treated something wrong, or we treated ourselves wrong, or we were treated incorrectly. So I might just have a look in the book and see what he has to say about the guilt, because sometimes the words are worth reading. The energy of fear has many guises to complicate your path to loving yourself. Guilt is the most devious because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is a self-imposed emotion that pretends to be instructive and enlightening. Guilt can help us to grow when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and that we need to make amends. After we do, though, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on. The problem arises when we hold on to a guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness and low self-esteem. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Guilt is not always rational, but if you examine it subjectively, act on it, and release it, it becomes a temporary emotion. Long-held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self-love and happiness. You must continually scan your current emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken. irrational guilt needs to be released. So it's a really nice message about release, isn't it? And releasing any guilt that you might have over past actions or deeds or situations. And as I said, sometimes the Lovers card can represent making a choice between two partners and feeling a little bit of guilt around it. So as it says, you know, be rational about it and make sure that there's sometimes when we have to make choices and decisions, it's a very hard position to be in. But if moving on is the right thing to do, and you're in a place in your life where you are moving on and out of a contract, as long as you feel it has been dealt to appropriately and that you have done what you came to do with the person, the job, the career, or the situation, relationship, friendships, whatever, then the contract will be fine to be finished off and signed off and moved on, and the guilt can be released as well. So quite big messages there, but certainly for some of you the guilt may play a role, and for others it will be like, no, the guilt's not necessarily a part of this amazing picture that could be coming your way. So just a little bit more then for you guys. We've got envy coming in. You know, envy and guilt kind of go together a little bit too. So I think when we think of ourselves as envying someone else's position or their manifestation of something, whether they're talking about, oh my God, you know, my dreams just came true, I just got the best job of my life, or oh, I'm going traveling around the world, or hey, I've just, you know, won lotto. The holding on to envy like that, regardless of someone else's either good luck or fortune or success or ideas, it stops us from producing the very things we want. So envy holds us like where she's standing in the darkened hallway, and it holds us from going out into the sunlight and out into the beauty and finding and enhancing and grabbing everything that we want to manifest in our life. So those are envy, guilt, fear, worry, anxiety, depression. Those are the really low vibrational energies that we emanate as humans. And when we hold on to any of those, or we produce them, or we soak in them, or we act on them, or we, you know, get angry about them, that's when we present that out to the universe as being what we want. So the very things that you are grinchy about or feeling angry about regards other people, you start to bring that into your life, that feeling of annoyance, of loss, of not having, of lack. So it's important to let those low vibrational feelings go so that you sit in the higher frequencies of saying to your friends or family or co-workers or whatever, wow, that's fantastic, how amazing, you've just had this success with your job, or your health's taken a turn for the better, or you've got this wonderful relationship. That is so awesome, I'm really pleased for you. And the minute you show those type of tendencies again, you'll bring that back into your life. You'll bring more happiness and joy and awe and pleasure in. It's really strange, but looking at that card there, it looks a little bit like a church, and it looks a bit grey and blackened, a little bit like Notre Dame must look at the moment, especially this bit in here. And that also looks like a big old building, like a church building in the background as well. So I don't know, but there we go. What's on the next one here? Yeah, you know, this card really works quite well with envy as well, a little bit, and even possibly the guilt. But again, it resonates choices out there for you guys, and it does feel as though choices are coming your way. So let go of any envy. These choices are here to push your buttons in, essentially, and to sort of have you say, oh my God, how do I make this choice? Look at all these offers coming my way. But some of them aren't what you would want. I mean, would you really want this snake thing here? And how do you know what's behind this hidden mask? And what about this dragon? They could be hard to manage and handle. So be careful about the choices you make in the month of May. And these generally reflect emotional choices as well. So it's definitely, the first three cards have played out really well, in as much that I said there's people around you, there's opportunities, there's potentiality of feelings, connections, love. It's keeping on moving through with this card as well. So what is this next one? The Two of Cups. So more cups again. This is very, very similar to this. So you're still residing in this power of positivity around relationships, especially the sacred relationship between another partner. You know, those special intimate partnerships where there is trust, security, love, spiritual connection, which is what this one says, spiritual union, which of course takes us back through the soulmate. Sometimes this can be the ignition of a twin flame energy, so the lighting up of your soul, taking your soul to the next step of its journey, engaging in some sort of very deep, intimate moment of connection between you and another person. Again, this could possibly be a potential business partnership or idea for a new business to turn into something very powerful and deeply connective at the heart level. There's so much love pouring out of these cards, and this is lovely because we have the sort of the shape of the love heart in the background as well as that beautiful glowing energy. But this is another beloved card that people would love to have in their readings. And of course, you've now got the Lovers twice, and then you got this one, which is number 2. So just reiterating, if any of you have got to a point in a relationship that you felt it was falling apart or you were ready to move on, there seems as though there's some sort of deep connection there that even if it does move on, and if you choose to leave or the other person leaves, know that somewhere on the journey that you spent with that person, there was a deep, profound reason for it happening, and it has touched your soul, and it has created learning lessons, and it's taken you on a journey. So that's if any of you are thinking of moving on from a lesson or from a partnership. Use your imagination. So I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. So some of you know Pisces are a very creative sign anyhow. So some of you might be about to move into this power of creativity, which is really good for our business aspects or our career. It's also good for our soul nurturing, because when we daydream, things like that, we empower ourselves and we use our imagination. So it's the same type of thing, daydreaming, imagination, and this is where our gifts can flow forward. So oftentimes you can get these inspirational ideas coming in when you connect powerfully with your imagination and spend the time daydreaming. Make a plan or have a goal in mind about what it is you want to create with your power and your magic. These mandalas can be really useful to use as well. So by looking at the mandalas, they can actually create something or instigate a movement within you. So the mandalas are quite invocative, or they invoke things for you. So a little bit more and then we're done for May for you guys. Another number 2, you know, a lot of repeating numbers coming through as well. So you're on a journey. And is it a journey with this spiritual union? Is there something or someone at this amazing time enlightening you or empowering you or lighting your soul up or lighting your life up? Is it you lighting your life up? Because again, look at all the light coming in here. So this is a little bit like the Fool going on the journey of life. This can be, again, when you have these amazing opportunities or just moments of clarity where you've said to yourself, I am me and I am going on this journey. I am taking the risk. I'm going to spread my wings and fly. I'm going to try something new. I'm headed in this new direction. This is me. And this is how I want to be and where I want to go. So it's a beautiful card. She sets off in night time. She can't quite see the clear path ahead, but she's not afraid of it. So she has no fear, she has no worry, she has no envy. She is full of the lust of life, like the joy, the freedom. So moving away from something that shackled you or held you back, or something that you've been afraid of, it feels as though you have the tenacity and the wherewithal to let that go for the month. Yeah, there's so much going on here, guys. It's again, you know, if these readings give any of you sort of an energy to try something or an energy to push something a bit harder, then that's the perfect support system for you, isn't it? It's the perfect thing to give you some insight, which is why I called the channel Psychic Insights. I could have called it actually Spiritual Insights, which would be just as appropriate. Let's have a look and see what this card is. There we have the Nine of Swords, which is the opposite of feeling the freedom and going on the journey. But what can happen when we do? We sometimes feel a bit detached, a bit unconnected or uncentered or ungrounded. And she is not grounded there. She's free floating and free moving across the rickety bridge of life. But that can sometimes bring about these feelings of a little bit of fear and the unknown. And this can also sometimes be brought about through some of the choices we have to make or that we think we're going to make with this card. And it's interesting that it's in the same pile as that card here. So I think for some of you, the choices that you are pondering making or the journey that you are thinking of going on is destabilizing a little bit, or sets your nerves on edge, or makes you feel a little bit insecure. So for that, it talks about requiring balance. And we've had the balance in the very first card with the contract, the scales. This is balance again, this card. They're very similar in terms of knowing that when you go on a journey or you're starting something new, yes, you'll have times where you feel a bit ungrounded or worried, or you become a bit anxious. Take your time out, go outdoors, do some contemplation, some meditation. Balance yourself physically, emotionally, and with your diet especially. Spend time around bodies of water, which is particularly good for water signs such as yourself. Rehydrate your body with water and make sure your diet is looking after yourself. Make sure you have the right minerals and vitamins. Get enough sleep and rest, and then this becomes less toxic or less worrying. Yeah, you know, similar cards, similar messages all the time. This is just the 8 of Swords, one down from the 9. So something that you do after I think you start your journey, which was over here, may give you a feeling of ungroundedness. And for some of you, it could be leaving a relationship. It could be moving on from a job or a career. It could be moving into your first career, or changing career options, moving country, applying for immigration statuses. Some of you, it could be a little bit of a health alert in some time in May, where you start to get a little bit of anxiety. And as I said, the best thing to deal with that is calm, slow, logical, careful, nurtured balance of all sorts at every level. Take some time out, slow life down, slow your choices down, slow your journey down. It matters not when you get to your destination, for the journey is the biggest part of life. So we'll do one more to finish it off, and I think we will take this one, man holding a coin. So it has the energy of money, so the pentacles, money. It also could represent an earth sign person who is playing a role in this month for you. It could be a person who is involved in the choices, or involved in the contract, or involved in either of the lovers cards or the soul union card. So keep an eye out for that person, or if he is already your mainstay relationship person, then he's somehow playing a role in things. With the fact that he's holding a coin, it often bodes very well for your finances. It has a tenacity to say there's a there's a possibility that you could have an increase or an influx of money. This could come through a pay rise or a job promotion or a new job, or even just a job for some of you who have been unemployed. This can be a loan that's given to you, which we talked about at the beginning with the contract. So this card, the contract, could be, these two could be even tied in together. The signing off of a loan for something, whether it's a car, a holiday, a house, you know, an operation, who knows, any of these types of things. But he is supportive and he is helpful. Sometimes he can be a romantic liaison. He can definitely be someone related to career and finances. So he bodes well, especially for the end card of your reading, you guys. I think he's opportunistic. He could even be tentatively someone from a family member that is talking about an inheritance or a loan that is gifted to you for some reason. And it might not be a loan that you even have to pay back in the long run. So it could just be something that comes to you. It could also reference that you are in the state or the situation where you loan someone a little bit of money. And that could also be tied up into the contract. In fact, if you are thinking of doing that, if you are in the position to help someone else out, make sure that you have a contract in place and think carefully about how you're going to do it and which person you are supporting, and that they are being truthful and honest in their desire for this money. But overall, another amazing reading that you guys have received. Plenty of this. I mean, look at all this. Lovers, spiritual union, just absolutely beautiful stuff going on. The contract, the journey, all pretty powerful, and the man holding the coin as well. Those would be my pick of the bunch. And a lot of them have a really greenish hue going on in the background. Probably the only one that doesn't is the contract. But there's lots of green in there. That's the heart center, that's emotions, that's love, that's healing in particular. So there we are, Pisces, your reading for May. Hey guys, thank you all for joining me. I wish you a wonderful, safe, happy, love-filled, what a love fest it is you're having, a love-filled May. Thank you for subbing, liking, and leaving your comments. I love reading them all, and I know everyone else who watches the videos, they like to read the comments as well and hear other people's stories or insight. So thanks again, guys. Much love. Namaste.